Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHEM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHEM, WAKWAKWADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to my Akim Wagwathim who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This is Brother Kawakab coming at you with another lesson. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Okay, so today's lesson is going to be kind of a response to two videos, this one here and this one, kind of, but it's primarily going to be to this because the thing is that well, I mean, I guess it's same topic, but it's just basically like a bit of a misconception in terms of like how the kingdom will be, and the reason why is because, you know, I studied and I took notes on, you know, how the kingdom would be, but, you know, I kind of forgot the scriptures. So then I, you know, went back and reviewed some of my notes. So I'm gonna, and then I found even more, you know, because now I started, you know, to kind of like revitalize the memory of like how the breakdown was when it comes to the kingdom of heaven and how that will be structured. So I want to, you know, kind of like, well, first this is to kind of like for the edification of anyone who watches this, and also, you know, to my edification as well, in order to help me better like know, okay, you know what, this is the breakdown to this, and, you know, help myself remember the breakdowns to more topics. All right, so basically there's a big misconception that people say, you know, I think one or both of these guys say, you know, how they keep Hebrew Israelites keep on saying that white people are not going to make it into the kingdom, when, like, no, that we did not say. Well, I'll say I don't even know if all Hebrew Israelites or if some Israelites say that. All right, Slocky, that you got me freaking talking like them, but I don't even know if some Israelites say that, because I'm pretty sure most don't believe in heaven, or well, there are a few. I think it's just I don't know, I don't remember. I think it's IUIC. I think they believe in heaven and hell. I don't remember, but basically yeah, that was the thing, where there are a few Israelite groups that believe in heaven and hell and whatnot, and I guess, you know, they are taking this, and in all honesty, I don't even really think that they got these from Israelites. I think they're really just saying whatever. I don't really feel like most Israelite groups really talk about this specific topic, because even when they hear from Israelite groups that are actually speaking the truth, even then I think they just extrapolate from whatever they want, from whatever they hear, rather than actually asking themselves. Because the thing is that we don't think that, we know that Esau is going to make it into the kingdom, okay? But the thing is that people think that just because you make it into the kingdom, that means that you are, quote unquote, saved and whatnot. All right, Esau is not going to want to be in the kingdom. All right. Now, let me just get some of these scriptures. Okay. So first things first. Where is it? Oh yeah, here. Perfect. Beautiful start. Psalm chapter 2 verse 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Okay, so there's two more I want to get for this and Isaiah chapter 49 verse 23. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee, and with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. So let me see something.
science journal published a randomized trial of 5,000 patients and found that
Isn't
psychosensory
it?
therapy was far more effective than traditional therapy and even medications for mental health issues. That's because
Oh yeah, that's fine. Well, anyway, basically, yeah, that's the thing where, it says kings shall be thy nursing father. So basically, like, the equivalent would be like, the presidents, all right, of America. They're going to be, or the presidents of all these modern day, these current day, nations. All right, the leaders of these current day nations. Okay, they're going to be the slaves because we are the true royalty. As a matter of fact, let me get that instead of saying it.
person and modern therapist uses this or a form of this psychological technology, which allows you to run your own brain, have control over your thoughts and feelings, overcome limiting beliefs, and turn around unwanted behaviors in minutes. They also help you to understand how other people think so that you become a more powerful influencer.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. So yeah, the princes walking as servants are the Israelites. The Israelites are the special people. The Israelites are the princess and the princes and the princesses. All right, that are walking as servants, while the servants, because what does the scripture say?
The greatest ever snooker player by using my root techniques. I'm always honored when somebody endorses my work. Even though most of my work is with regular people, I'm known for working with famous people because some of them choose to endorse my work publicly.
Genesis chapter 27 verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, and that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. All right. So yeah, basically, Esau was supposed to serve us. Okay, but as of right now, we're serving him. Okay, he is the one in charge. He's the one who has dominion over us for now. All right. So very soon, the Lord's going to basically flip that and change it. All right, because I'm pretty sure if my memory serves correctly, I believe it was during the time of during the time of King David. The Edomites, they were serving the Israelites, or they were subservient to them. All right, because I'm pretty sure, to the best of my memory, it was after Moses got the Israelites out of Egypt. Then there was, I believe it was Joshua, and then as time went on, they kept on conquering and establishing themselves. And then when it got to King David, he basically established Israel through the Spirit of YAHAWAH and His, of course. He established Israel at the top of all nations, where everyone was serving them. And then, after King David, after King Solomon, after these different kings, we lost that power, and then we basically got into multiple captivities. All right. So yeah, that was basically it. Where Esau's going to serve. Esau is once again going to come back to serve us. All right, in the kingdom. Where is it? Okay, so here, Matthew chapter 5 verse 5. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Okay, and that's another thing where people think that the kingdom of heaven is just some spiritual, not physical place. It is a physical place. The kingdom of heaven is more so like it's the earth, obviously, but it's going to be the earth being ruled and being healed. All right, because the thing is, if you really have to understand, like, the thing about Esau Edom is that he does not care. He does not know or understand about Sabbaths in a sense, because the thing about Sabbaths is that you are supposed to give the land time to rest. You're not supposed to just force force the land to constantly like make food for you and stuff like that. You're supposed to just say, okay, you know what, now there's a time period where you're not supposed to, grow crops and stuff like that. All right. But with Esau, he always tries to make, okay, what, let's go morning, noon, night, winter, fall, spring, autumn, all that stuff. Like, it's just always work for him, always making someone work, rather than just say, okay, you know what, let me take some time to stop, let me give the land a rest, let me give the people a rest. No. And that was, that's how Esau is. Okay, Esau, and also that's also how he made this society where people are always working, rather than giving people some time to themselves to rest. All right, he's a slave driver. Okay, the worst kind. Trying to kill people through exhaustion, and that's how a lot of people. That's actually how a lot of people die. As a matter of fact, there was some child. If you heard about the Native American, and by extension the Japanese border schools, what they did was they had these kids from so-called Native Americans and so-called Ainu kids, okay, respectively, Native American with Edomites and Ainu with the Japanese. They basically took their kids to re-educate them. At the same time, while they were re-educating them, they would work them. They would force them to child labor. All right, and the kids would die from exhaustion. All right, lots of kids would die from exhaustion, and they just would not care. They just did not care because they were Israelites. They were Israelites. Okay, that's basically it. Both the Ainu and the so-called Native American, the so-called Ainu and the so-called Native Americans. All right. Continuing on, they shall earth. So yeah, basically, this is the thing where the kingdom of heaven will be established on earth, right? On this a physical place. All right. So with that, like, oh, Slocky, that's another thing. Let me get that as well. Another thing to, and a very important thing to know. Daniel chapter 7 verse 14, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Okay, so this is the thing where Yahawashi is going to rule over the entirety of the earth. Okay, Yahawashi is going to tell everyone what to do, be them all nations. All right. Like this is the craziness about it. All right, this is the craziness about it, where you're gonna have Edomites, not Edomites. You're gonna have all nations, so-called Chinese, so-called Hispanics, so-called not Hispanics, because they're Israelites, but Indians, Africans, all that stuff, all these different nations, Australians, whatever, they're going to, well, actually, I think Australians are Edomites as well, so slocky about that, but basically you get the point where you're going to have all these other nations, okay, that are going to serve Yahawashi, okay, because Yahawashi is going to be ruling the earth, and as a result of him ruling the earth and being in charge, okay, he's going to be telling all the people what to do, and these people are going to, as a matter of fact, let's get that. I think it's Micah 4.
Or maybe you have decided you should. Whatever decision you make will be the right one. You'll be able to lock in this discounted rate for as long as you choose to stay as a Mind Valley member, even if Mind Valley membership shoots up.
Okay, Micah chapter 4, from the top. And in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountain, and shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow into it, and many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And that's another thing. All right, Slocky, bear with me one moment.
Man, I cannot stand these Hebrew Israelites. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I keep watching their pages and they're so disrespectful and high and mighty. Like, you're not the product of God's wrath. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hebrew Israelites are arguably some of the worst people spiritually, because you're telling me you done seen everything God did through Moses. You done seen God's power plague after plague. He did everything he said he was going to do. He parted the sea and everything. And you telling me y'all still going to disobey, worship other gods, can't get it together? You still going to go against God time and time again until God said, listen, I'm going to give your promise to the world. I'm going to deliver you to your enemies. I'm going to stretch you out all across the land. Y'all going to be messed. I'm coming after all of y'all. You're the product of that. You're the product of God's wrath because your disobedience. And you got the nerve to blame the white.
All right, Slocky. So basically, well, actually, I can address that right quick and then go back to Micah 4. He said, product of the Lord's wrath. No, we aren't the product of the Lord's wrath yet. No, we are the product of the Lord's mercy. All right, we are the product of Esau's. No, okay, Slakia. In a way, yes, we are the product of the Lord's wrath, but at the same time, no. Because ultimately the Lord had mercy on us, all right? And on top of that, very soon, as I've been explaining the kingdom of heaven, that is also another product of the Lord's mercy, because, as a matter of fact, no, Slocky, he's wrong. We are the product of the Lord's mercy because the Lord is not going to destroy us, all right? Even though he's chastising us, all right? You won't know. He won't know what wrath is. All right. Let me get this. What's it called? Yeah. You're gonna see the wrath of the Lord, though.
Your average weekly shop costs less
Fuck.
at Walmart than at any other major grocery store. We save you time and money by price checking thousands of items, so you don't have to. You hear that, Jerry? People can stop now.
I should have remembered that. That's unfortunate. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rock. And this is another thing where fishers being like it's kind of like the fisher is the men that are out there preaching the gospel, all right, whereas the hunter is the person that goes out and executes the wrath of the Lord, basically executes the wrath of the Lord. So the Lord's going to give us spiritual powers to destroy us, all right, to destroy our enemies, Slakia, not us, destroy our enemies, all right. And this is how the kingdom is going to be established, where you're going to have so many people that are going to think, oh, let me go do this to Esau. Let me go do this to the Israelites, blah blah blah. Or they're going to think that they want to fight back, because there was Esau. He made that I'm gonna say Esau because I don't know if I can talk about DJT, but he was basically talking about, oh, we're gonna make the space force so we can beat whoever is in space, this, that, and third, and whatever. All right, he already was planning on establishing a military to fight against the Lord. All right. So with that, what do you think? So he's already ready for he's already trying to be ready, but he can never be ready for the Lord. All right. Let me let's go back to this so I can remember. So yeah, back in chapter 4, 1 through 3, these are the things that that's going to symbolize, when Yahawashi is going to be in rulership, as well as when the Israelites are going to be are going to re-inherit the earth. All right, which the first thing is that the Israelites are going to be the top government. All right, so when it says mountain, a mountain is a government. All right, so the government of Israel is going to be the number one, the top thing. Like there's going to be that's going to be the top hierarchy in terms of like all the nations. All right, it's not going to be a matter of everyone can do whatever they want. No, even the other nations. Okay, like I don't know what Buddhism. I think that's in India and I think China maybe, but with that they are going to stop following after those things, and they're going to all have to follow after following YAHAWAH, and that's where that whole light to the Gentiles is going to be. It's not a light to the Gentiles. And let me just get that slack here. I need to stop speaking without getting the scriptures. Okay. Light.
The oligarchs would stop running and ruining the United States because that's what they do, right? And as a result, it is being predicted. But economists, out of researchers, are coming out and saying that people.
Verse Isaiah chapter 49 verse 6, and he said, "It is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth."
I don't know what you're doing, but stack up good food, because when China cuts the supplies of the things, important things that aid food, the technology of food preservation, just like some people are trying to explain, it's gonna be affecting the United States.
Okay, whatever. Main thing, yeah. So light to the Gentiles, it's basically, I guess, properly teaching them. And as we've gone into in Micah chapter 4, okay, it goes to show that the other nations are going to have to learn, how to properly serve Yahawadah through us. So they have to come through us. So when Yahawashi is, at the top, and he's, and that's another thing, Slakia. I forgot what's the one precept about it. The same way that everyone knew about the fame of Yahweh, or when he got the Israelites out of Egypt, I forgot the precept, but all the nations are going to know how Yahawadah, all right, got the Israelites out of Babylon. Okay, that's going to be known in the fame. That's going to be known as the fame of Yahweh, or Yahawashi, and how everyone's going to basically fall in line, saying like, oh my God, the Savior or Yahawashi, he's here. We need to pay our respects and stuff like that. All right, so that's why everyone's gonna say, let's go, follow after their ways. Okay, that's what the thing is. And it says in verse 2, he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. All right, so yeah, all the nations are gonna come to us and learn of the ways of Yahweh, Yahawashi. All right. And another thing, last thing, and most important thing, okay, was when the Israelites are established at the top of all nations, all right, there's not going to be any more war. All right, so that should tell you who's established at the top. That should tell you who's actually the people that are in the that should tell you the people that are actually in the land right now. Okay, who and also on top of that, the nations aren't really unified, and they're not really there's not really one specific. I will say yes, on a technicality, Esau or Babylon is kind of at the top, but I think in terms of like authority for the most part, but even then, that still is not a prophecy being fulfilled, because there's still wars. Okay, people still, so many different nations hate Esau. All right, and people are not flowing into him. Like, there's different things that we can see that prove and disprove that, prove that prove that he's not the proper people. All right. So yeah, there are those things. So this is how. But on the flip side of it, that's how we also know how the kingdom of heaven is going to be. All right, that's how we know the kingdom of heaven is going to be, because there's not going to be any more wars. No one's going to go fighting each other. Another thing, actually, let's get that while we're on the topic, because with war, people die. So let's get this. Revelation chapter 21 verse 4, and Yahawadah, Revelation chapter 21 verse 4, and Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. All right, so there's going to be no more death, sorrow, crying. All that hardship is going to be a thing of the past. We're not going to be, we're never going to remember that. Okay, we're not going to have to deal with all that type stuff. All right, now let me also get this. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 52. I want to make sure that I. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 50. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh, neither doeth corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mercy, I show you a mystery, Slakia. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. So basically, we will be given perfect bodies that don't die, bodies that don't decay, bodies that don't, I guess, age to a certain degree. We will be basically given immortal bodies and stuff like that, where we will be able to, we won't have to worry about pooping, defecating, what's the other one, our basically our bodies running out and stuff like that. We're going to be perfect. Okay, we're gonna have perfect bodies. Okay. Sluck. So yeah, basically, with that, that's how. That's another important key part to the kingdom of heaven, where in the kingdom of heaven, these verses establish that we can't be in the kingdom with corruptible, weak bodies. All right, so we're going to be changed. We're going to be perfect. Okay, because we are going to need to be perfect in order to be worthy of accepting perfection from YAHAWAH, through these blessings and stuff like that. Now let me also get this. Perfect. That was right next to it. John chapter 14 verse 2. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. All right, that's another thing where, it says, in my Father's house are many mansions. Okay, a mansion is bigger than a house. Okay, and this is just basically kind of like I guess a metaphor for the amount of blessings that we're going to get, which the blessings are going to be bigger than what you could ever think or what you could ever perceive. All right, like a mansion is really big. You don't need, most people don't really need mansions. All right, but at the same time, we're still going to get it. Okay, it's still going to be just that much, that great. Okay, it's just going to be that great. And it's something that is for primarily for the elect, and that's the thing. Let me get that as well, because so Matthew chapter 20 verse 6. So the first shall be last, and the first. So that's like Matthew chapter 20 verse 16. So the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few chosen. That's it, and that's another thing, because so many of us, there's only the elect. Okay, more specifically, it's not all Israel. Even though all Israel, yes, will be in the kingdom. Okay, which that's another topic. But because even all Israel is going to be in the kingdom, but it's going to primarily be the select few that the Lord actually chose. The Lord actually blessed with the wisdom and knowledge to actually be able to, or the humbleness or meekness to actually be able to receive His word. All right, and we're going to be blessed with so many great things, because that's us. That's another thing. As a matter of fact, teach man to do so shall be the least in the Matthew chapter 5 verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So so that's another aspect of it, where though you have people who are teaching people, do this. You don't have to keep the law. You don't have to do this. All right, the Lord done away with that stuff. Okay, basically teaching lies, teaching stuff that was against the scriptures. All right, they're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven. All right, especially Esau, Edom, who's going to be the least, because let me get that as well. Obadiah. Whatever. I thought that was going to take me to verse 18. Obadiah, verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. Okay, so we already established that Esau is going to be a servant to the Israelites. On top of that, there's also going to be the fact that Esau is going to go extinct. All right, so yes, this is another major key point to understand, that after Esau serves his 1,000 years, he's going to be just done away with. The Lord's just going to say, okay, what now it's done. Like, there's no, it's because you have the thing about the hellfire and stuff like that, where people say that hellfire is what's it called? Hellfire is an eternal place to burn. All right, no, that's not what the Lord does. The Lord does not eternally burn people or eternally torture people. Even with Esau, Edom, even though the Lord does not like Esau, He's going to let him serve his time, and then I'm done with you. You can die now. Like, you can basically die now, in the sense of, like, you don't have to keep on being humiliated, being destroyed, whipped, and all that stuff, and like that's not the Lord. That's actually the mercy of the Lord. Okay, so people want to talk about the Lord isn't merciful, the Lord is this, that, and the third because of Esau, blah blah blah. And like, no, the Lord is very merciful in the fact that he allowed Esau to enjoy his time now, being at the top. All right, while also giving him judgment, but at the same time not making that judgment last forever. All right, that is mercy. Okay, that's a product of the mercy of the Lord. Okay, people always, like, they just never are able to see things for what they are, and never really see and appreciate the good that the Lord does. Like, honestly, like that's something to actually be appreciative of, because the Lord, He could have just said, okay, well, you're gonna lose doubly. You're gonna lose here and you're gonna lose in the kingdom where you have to get fucked here on earth during Esau's kingdom and in the kingdom. Like, no, he was very merciful in allowing Esau to rule now, in allowing the wicked to rule right now. All right. Well, and then making him serve his time. Okay, like that is mercy. Honestly, that's mercy. All right. Even with us, that he's also showing us mercy because he's making us go through this hardship now, and then afterwards we're gonna be blessed. Afterwards we're gonna have things greater, in reference to 2 Corinthians 4 verse 16 to 18. All right, it should be way better than we could ever, than all the terrible stuff that we had to endure or have to endure now. Zechariah chapter 1 verse 15, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. Okay, so basically Esau made things worse. The heathens made the punishment of Israel worse than it should have been. Okay, you have all this shit about if you actually researched all the stuff that Esau did to Israelites, okay, as well as other Israelites in general. Okay, I won't just say so-called black people, but Native Americans as well. All right, they had buck breaks, alligator bait by cutting babies out of pregnant Edomite women's stomachs and then tossing the baby to the out to the alligators. Okay, like that's just unnecessary. That's just over the top. It's like, why? Like, legitimately, why? Like, but of course, the Lord remembers all that. The Lord sees all that. He's going to judge them for that. But yet you still got, look, like, did you just hear what I just fucking said? Did you just hear what I said? I literally said that they would cut. Well, no, fuck what I said. Okay, let's see. Alligator bait. Let's read it. Okay, so because I could just be talking out of my ass. Okay, I'm probably talking out of my ass. Okay, I'm probably lying to you. You know what? I am definitely lying to you. So let's see what Google has to say. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say. Okay, let's go. Common trope. This is a urban legend claiming that black children or infants were in fact used as bait to lure alligators, although there is no meaningful evidence that children of any race were ever used in this purpose. Alligator bait is a racial slur for African Americans. So basically, they're saying that it is an urban legend, but yet alligator bait is still a racial slur. Why would it be a racial slur? Where did the history come from? Where did this picture come from if it's not true? All right, so it wasn't a widespread practice, but it did happen. I just want to try to find one more thing, because the thing is, I'm not gonna lie. I was surprised that Wikipedia, because I normally go to Wikipedia, but it's for sources. But at the same time, Wikipedia can be edited, all right, by anyone. Literally, I can edit it, but at the same time, it is still relatively good source. But at the same time, like, again, like, why would stuff like that, you don't just call people that, like, you don't say, let's say, what's it called, tiger bait and whatnot, to a so-called Edomite person, if we weren't feeding Edomite people to tigers and whatnot, like that is very, like, incredibly dishonest. There is absolutely no way in hell that Israelites were not fed or used as alligator bait, if this is a real life racial slur. They literally said it was a racial slur, but then they're going to start denying it. All right, so Slaki, I want to get one more source. Or I can ask okay, so yeah, it was an actual thing. They're killing alligators? They were killing alligators to make up for it? What? Anyway, that's Esau for you, because they think killing the alligators that are not even the literal ones that did it, okay, that are not alive anymore. It's like killing the descendants of the alligators is going to make up for it, okay? Esau always tries to find a way to divert responsibility for the stuff that he did. He was the one. You can't make an alligator not want to do what it's supposed to do and attack something that it views as prey. All right, you're the one who put that there. You should be paying for. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, like, this is just an example of something that's just an extreme. What was the other thing that I said? Alligator being what? Oh yeah, buck breaking. Yeah, there's that. I didn't want to, but Yahawadah, nothing crazy happens, but let me go to actually Reddit. Okay, I don't want to read all this shit. Okay, I'm not gonna go here just because they put the stuff there. Oh, I think because the thing is, I saw in a movie. that I think the buck breaking wasn't. Maybe it was sodomy, or maybe I think it was because obviously Esau would definitely commit sodomy. But the thing is, I think that I don't think it was always specifically sodomy. I think it was more specifically like they were using a tool rather than themselves. I think that was it. And this literally brought me back to the first one that I saw. But yeah, so far I'm seeing one person saying no and one person saying yes. All right, but I'm trying to let me get off of Reddit then. Oh, there's a movie? Oh, okay, wow. Let's see. But and that's lucky. That's the thing though. Like, you know, when Esau is in power, or Slacken, I won't even say. Well, yeah, it will say specifically Esau. When Esau is in power, he really doesn't hold back. All right, like who would back down from being able to do whatever they want? And also look at the things that they do now. All right, you literally have, as a matter of fact, you literally have buck breaking today in what's it called? What's that shit called? In Hollywood. In Hollywood, there's lots of like male rappers that are literally buck broken by these Edomite rulers or whatever. Okay, these guys, the people that are high in authority. That's literally a real thing. All right. Where can I Hey, you know what? Actually, what? Deadass. I'm gonna be real with you. I cannot, in good conscience, say that I believe most of these most of these people, because I just realize that oftentimes these people have agendas to push. All right, so Esau has never been one to shy away from pushing out false information. So I'm just gonna have to just flat out say that I'll admit, okay, that maybe I can't get any information on it now. I'll admit that, sure. So don't take my word at face value, but I will say that it is very likely that if I do more research, all right, if I do more research, then I would be able to find it. But I'm not really like too into that type of stuff. But at the same time, you know, that which is then is now. Okay, let me get that. Ecclesiastes. Never mind. Where is it? Okay, whatever. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9. The thing that hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Okay, so if the thing that I'm trying to say with this scripture is that the fact that they are Slakia, buck breaking real men like today, men like Israelite men now, all right, and hell maybe even more, because I feel like I don't know what Tom Holland is, Okay, I'm pretty sure I kind of feel like he's an Edomite. Maybe he's an Israelite. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he was buck broken as well, because they made him do a freaking sodomy movie, and that was literally the only example of, you know, an Edomite that I felt like they were forcing him to be effeminate. All right, maybe there's more. Oh, what's his name? What? Not Robert. The dude that did Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't know how he felt about doing that and whatnot. But he always. I think when he was alive, I heard him talking about how he was miserable, and I can only assume that might have been attributed to, you know, the behind the scenes stuff, and maybe they were making him do some stuff that he didn't really want to do. And I think when with Cat Williams, all right, with Cat Williams as well, I also believe that when he was talking to Larry King, I think that's the dude's name, he was talking about how miserable he was as well. And I think for that, that is another form of bug breaking, because I'm pretty sure, even though Cat Williams claims to have not been bug broken, I think he might just be lying, because I don't even know what happened. What happened to that dude? Where is he right now? All right, nah, forget it. Not important. But basically, you get the point. And the fact that there are so many artists, famous rappers, celebrities like Will Smith and whatnot that have been partaking in these types of stuff like that. It's like, they're doing that type of stuff, and that practice is definitely something like they are very privy to. All right, and that was another thing with Terry Crews. With Terry Crews basically exposing how he said that he was groped by one of the executives or whatever and stuff like that in Hollywood, and maybe he's not telling the full truth. Maybe he's not telling us everything, because especially with how big Terry Crews is. And when I say big, I don't mean big as in physically big. I mean like big in terms of like famous. Like he's very famous and stuff like that. Heck, he hasn't even been in any projects anymore. I think he just, they kind of tossed his ass into obscurity. Okay, because I'm pretty sure he shouldn't have. In their eyes, they didn't want him to talk about that type of stuff. And who oftentimes with stuff, they kind of really just they don't want to go in and say, because that's the thing. Like if you are a man, if you got like sexually assaulted, like you don't want to be ashamed. You don't want to be ashamed. You just want to say, okay, I want to stand up. I want to do this. I want to do that, and whatever. And maybe he wants to say that, but he just omits certain details, possibly. All right, or maybe he didn't actually get fully on sodomized and whatnot. But regardless, the thing is that there have been other celebrities. I forgot what that one dude was that literally said that there are men that get drugged and then they get full on raped. All right, and it's just like simply because of that. All right, simply because of that, it's just like they're like, here they record it and they show it to them and saying like, look at this, like you better sign this terrible ass contract and stuff like that. And it's like, well then, because that's the thing, that they are literally buck breaking them and then humiliating them. And it's like, you don't want to be the man that is known for, Will Smith is so great, this and third. But wait, Will Smith, being how great he is, he got his fame by getting sodomized and this and third, like all this stuff. Like that's a humiliating thing to go through. That's why it's like you don't want to tell people this type of stuff. All right, you don't want to say this type of stuff. Even with that one dude, I forgot his name. I forgot what movie he was in. I forgot his name, but he was in a Tyler Perry movie, and Tyler Perry was trying to freaking, I'm pretty sure it was Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry was trying to, put a move on him and trying to take him. All right, like it was and he explained it on his on I think it was on Instagram Live or something like that, or he just uploaded it as a video or something like that. This is what's going on in Hollywood. All right, you do not want to be a part of that type of stuff. And again, like that's because that's the spirit that they're in. That's why I wholeheartedly believe that it did happen, because the same way that they make these practices back then is the same way they want to make these practices now. And it's nothing for Esau to want you to just hide these type of stuff. All right, because I'm pretty sure that Esau can just basically hide stuff. Like it's really nothing to him. Okay, just like he can hide YouTube videos and stuff like that. All right. Now, finally, okay, let's get this last two, and then we're done. Romans chapter 9, verse 13, as is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. And also, let me get this. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16, perfect fitting ending, by the way. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Okay, Esau is the most profane, okay, fornicator ever. He's the most wicked. All right, the Lord does not like him. The Lord the Lord doesn't dislike him. The Lord hates him, as the scripture hath said. Okay, we just read in Romans chapter 9, verse 13. Okay, the Lord hates Esau. He's the most wicked, and you cannot be expecting any type of mercy for the most wicked. That's why the Lord, as we read in Obadiah verse 18, that the Lord is going to make it so that he's going to go extinct. All right, so yeah, there is that. All right, so I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, BaHashem, YAHAWASHI, BaHashem, Wakwak Wadash, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, the ball, and Shalom.